Hello, I'm Dr. James Bogash, expert in health and longevity and creator of Bogash Life and Balance. And today we're going to revisit an old topic that has kind of fallen out of favor, and because we used all of 2020 was the discussion on masks and how effective they were, and if we just wore them, we would stop the pandemic in 2 weeks. Clearly, that didn't happen even in areas with high mask use, but now that we have vaccines, like that's the whole topic of conversation. If everybody just got vaccinated, we'd get rid of this. And by now, hopefully, you're understanding that that narrative has never been true and will never be true. However, if we were talking about exercise and maintaining an ideal body weight and bringing down fasting blood glucose and keeping our vitamin D up, we'd probably have a different conversation. But this particular study was actually published in March, but it looked at the negative effects of wearing a mask. Like we certainly hear and like they can be uncomfortable, but are there actually any clinical studies showing that mask use is potentially harmful? And most people look at this, especially as we continue to talk about masking our children, that there is no downside. And like it's perfectly okay to mask all our children in preschool and elementary school, and there won't be any downside, but that is just quite frankly not true. So this particular review, and before I said that, when we look at masks, like I could argue that masks probably affect the spread maybe 1 to 2%. Nothing near what people think that it does. So it's a smidgen. Nothing compared to what, like, if we had actually recommended sunlight exposure and vitamin D and exercise, what that would have done. But it was a great arguing point for almost all of 2020. But really, we're talking about mask use to prevent asymptomatic spread in the community. And there's just no evidence to suggest that that is helpful. So that aside, what about potential harms? And most of the studies done, and to give you an idea, there were 65 studies on the harms of masks that these researchers looked on, including 14 reviews and 2 meta-analyses. So this isn't an isolated topic, and we think that in 2020 and 2021 it was a brand new idea. And no, this has been in the medical literature for a long time. And the researchers found some very clear links in the studies on mask use. By the way, this was done out of Germany. And mask use on both lowering oxygen levels, increasing carbon dioxide levels, as well as things like fatigue, headache, increased heart rate, increased temperature, and respiratory distress. So in a lot of it's a mix between N95s and cotton masks and everything, but clearly we can't have a discussion on the benefits unless we also have about the risks. And when we talk about our children, this is where the discussion becomes even more important, because there will be no benefit to the children wearing masks, because like we just have to face it, that children are not any more affected by COVID than they are by RSV or seasonal influenza, or God forbid, H1N1. Those were far more dangerous for children, and we didn't mask them up at that time. So just wanted to throw this one out there in case you were looking for a research review on the harms of masks, because we need to have harms associated with benefits to really come to a true balance. And I will post a link to this particular study in the description. Make sure you like this video, share it with somebody who you think needs the information, and subscribe to the channel.